Hello, welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. For the last time tonight, the game is officially over. 48-32, the final score, not indicative of what the game really was. Like I said, I'm semi-retiring for at least a month. I don't want to hear, see, or Cowboys just cease to exist for the next month, because I can't handle this shit sometimes when it gets this ridiculous. Philly loses 5 of the last 6. We beat Detroit. Everything falls in our direction. The Rams beat the 49ers in a game where they were playing the backups, but if San Fran would have won, then Green Bay would have been the 6th seed. We'd hosted the Rams, which is a tougher team than Green Bay. We go into the season with off-season acquisitions of Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore being the big one. And our defense, supposed to be, elite. Week 2, Diggs goes down to after week 2. During the week, we know this. Bland steps in pretty well. Jordan Lewis, recovers from his injury. Our defense playing pretty well throughout the season. Starts off great. Midway through the season, all right. End of the season, starts to pick it up again. And then I lost 48 points against Josh Dobbs in this offense. Romeo Dobbs looked like Sterling Sharp out there. I mean, it was more ridiculous than I can explain. Dan Quinn got outschooled by Matt LaFleur like it was his first time coaching a game. And defensive adjustments, there was none. Now, the way Dak played, very slow start, very uncharacteristic of them being at home. But I truly believe Prescott could have led a comeback had our defense started making stops. But you can't lead a comeback if when you score, then the other team scores in 3 plays. You know what I mean? We put it in the end zone, we score, we pull within 18, and then 3 plays later, it's back to 25. 5 straight drives, Green Bay put it in the end zone on this defense. So, what I would like to see is at 12:01 a.m., Mike McCarthy gets his pink slip. You're done, man. You are done. Your regular season, you win 12 games every season. It doesn't matter. Doesn't amount to anything if you can't get past the first or second round. And to put the cherry on top, it wasn't San Fran this time. It was Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers. Now we know Green Bay knocked us out in 2014, 2016 when we wanted to get revenge against the Packers for doing that against Josh Dobbs. Aaron Rodgers beat us 26-21 in 2014 at their house, and he came to our house and beat us 34-31 by a field goal. 34 points. They didn't put up 48 points in either of those 2 contests. Aaron Rodgers, who had Devontae Adams in those games, and the first game had Eddie Lacy, and the second game had the running back they have now, number 33, forget what his name is. Mike McCarthy needs to get his pink slip at 12:01. As soon as tomorrow becomes tomorrow, he's gone. Dan Quinn, I really don't care. Bill Belichick is out there. A lot of people linking him to Dallas. And Jerry, before the playoff games started, said we'll take it 1 game at a time. And there was an encrypted message in what he said there. Now, Belichick and Jim Harbaugh also, he will go after very aggressively. Jim Harbaugh took the Niners 2 chip games into a Super Bowl and then won a college championship. Bill Belichick, the greatest defensive mind in NFL history. With this defense that we have, Bill Belichick could create, something like he had in the late 80s with the Giants. With somebody, Micah, Lawrence Taylor-esque. Micah Parsons, is close to saying to that. But Micah starts fast in the beginning of the year and then trails off at the end. This offseason, I don't want to see, except Dak getting his extension to open up money, to bring in some other players. This offseason, I don't want to see 11 get paid or 88. I know CeeDee Lamb broke Michael Irvin's reception record and receiving record yardage this season. That don't mean shit. The reason why Michael Irvin got the nickname Playmaker is because what he did in the playoffs. CeeDee Lamb had a partial third quarter, and that was it. His first 2 balls, First one couldn't catch it. Second one right through his hands. What you do if next season we go 17-0? Hypothetically, say next season we go 17-0. That won't mean a squad of beans, because nobody believes that we're for real until we win 2 or more playoff games in the same season. The performance was sickening from kickoff to the victory formation. Now, whenever Green Bay won and chose to receive, that was kind of message sent. And our defense, you make a stop there, you get him off the field, you give Dak the ball. Deron Bland made All-Pro because he had 5 pick sixes. They were all against bad teams. Deron Bland, none of his pick sixes were against good quarterbacks. He was not really a first-team All-Pro cornerback. He was not. And on that first drive, when we get to Dobbs, it would have been a third and super long. He extends the drive with that penalty. And then on the second drive, he gets beat pretty bad by Dobbs. CeeDee Lamb's on his 5th-year option in the offseason. Micah Parsons isn't on his 4th year of 5 years on his deal going into the offseason. I don't want to see anybody get paid until we start seeing results in January. Because Micah could be all this and that for the first half of the season. But if he's going to disappear in November, December, and January, then he's not what he was advertised after his rookie year, in my opinion. Now, Dak could have led a comeback. I believe Dak Prescott could have led a comeback. But you cannot do that, like I said, if your defense does not want to play football. And they did. You knew whenever you're down with 17 or 24 points, the team's going to run the ball to milk the clock. We knew that, and they still couldn't stop the run. Aaron Jones was running the ball 10 yards a carry, it looked like. No effort on defense. Tank Lawrence wasn't showing up. This is the worst playoff loss I have seen since we have won the Super Bowl. This is the worst playoff loss since we won the Super Bowl. Or you can say the worst playoff loss since the 98 season. 98 season where we go 10-6, draw the Cardinals, who got in with the 6th seed, and we're supposed to beat them easily at home, and they beat us 20-7. This is the worst loss since that game. The 07 loss, Terrell Owens had a broken leg. So I don't count that. And the fashion of the way we lost, it wasn't like it was 31-30. It was a 25-point ball game at a certain point. 32-point ball game at a certain point. Down 32 points at home against a team that 3 years ago wouldn't have been in the playoffs because it wasn't a 7 seed. Basically a 500 team. Embarrassing. Changes need to be made. Mostly with the guys wearing the headsets. I'd say keep Bones Fossil. He's about the only guy you can't depend on. But Mike, you got to be out of there. In the first half, he kept wanting to run that damn football. Whenever you're down multiple scores, you want to keep running the football. You get 7 yards on the carry. Good, Mike. On the next play action. Do something like that. No, so after a month goes by and I get over all this bullshit that we go through every season, because this year was supposed to be different. Everything happened. Philly imploded, loses 5-6. We get the 2 seeds so we could play at home for 2 games. That was our road to the chip game, even if it was at San Fran against the 9-8 Packers. That was a team we wanted to draw. We didn't want to draw Seattle because, they took us to the brink. Well, maybe we would have been better off hosting Seattle. Or maybe it wouldn't have mattered who we hosted round 1. Maybe it could have been Seattle or New Orleans, or the Rams would come in, and the result would have been the same. It all goes in. And Jimmy Johnson, even at halftime, 27-7, you're down 20 at half, getting the ball to start third quarter, you're still in the game. Jimmy Johnson, who is now really rooting for us because he's inducted into the Ring of Honor, gave a great pep talk. And I don't think, our players saw that. But we need a real head coach. Mike McCarthy, he's won 12 games. because he had a good defensive coordinator for 3 seasons, good offensive coordinator, and a ton of talent. So how can he not win 12 games? He really would have won 11 if it was a 16-game season. He would have won 11-5, 12-4, 11-5. Being at a 17-game season, he wins 12 games. But 3 playoff appearances, 1 playoff win, 3 losses, 3 consecutive years. That's not going to get it done, Mike. That's not going to get it done. I would, like Bill Parcells last hurrah was at the Star. Bill Belichick, if you want to go out in glory, he would be acquiring a super talented team, and he would know what to do with it. Because the Patriots don't have anybody. They don't have any talent. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have any receivers. They have a few defensive players. Matthew Judon. That's the only person I can think of. If Bill Belichick inherits this roster and lets Will McClay draft and he puts his input in, imagine what Bill Belichick could do with this a team like this, and just hire a good offensive coordinator and keep Bones where he's at special teams coordinator. Because Bill Belichick's the greatest defensive mind, in the history of the NFL. And I think he could make our defense look like the late 80s Giants defense. I really do. I think Bill Parcells would be a perfect fit to end his career coaching the Star and getting us back to where we got to be. Because it's the same damn story. We wait all year until September, until kickoff, and then we ride the ups and downs. And then last year we didn't get the breaks to win the division. So we're the 5 seed. We even got a playoff win being the 5 seed on the road. This year we got all the breaks that we needed. And 48-32. 32-point deficit at one point. 48-16. That's sickening, y'all. And like I said, I don't know what Law's saying on this show right now, whatnot. But any Cowboy fan that wants to talk positive about what happened tonight and about next year, you're starting to become delusional. Because I started drinking the juice whenever I saw Philly lose against Arizona and then lose against the Giants, and then we beat Detroit and we waxed Washington. I started really drinking the juice hard, thinking that we were really going to make this run of the chip game. Like they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Shame on me. If you like my content, please subscribe. Trying to hit 500 by, end of the season, which should be February. Our season's over now, so I ain't got to worry about this shit no more. I might cut a video here and there if I get in the mood for it, but right now I just ain't feeling it. I was in Buffalo Wild Wings. After that, game sealing touchdown, I just took off my jersey, put it inside out. Like I said, semi-retire for a little while. Because, got a lot going on in life, and I spend almost $1,000 to go to Buffalo and watch, them get whooped at Buffalo. But when we got the 2 seed, I justified it, saying, I did my part. I went, rooted for the team, the yada, yada, yada. Got to the 2 seed, da-da-da. And just like that, season's over. Just like that. They had 5 consecutive drives for 5 touchdowns. That offense did. I mean, I am at a loss for words at what we just witnessed. Our last 2 playoff exits were 6 and 7 point games. Close games. I see you doing that, Giselle. Close games. This was a playoff beatdown. And the Texans, who I cannot stand, I live in Houston, beat down the Browns yesterday, so I'm going to be hearing it tomorrow about the Texans and the Cowboys, which I cannot stand. And we play the Texans next year too. But we need a real head coach. And I think, and I hope, and I pray that Jerry Jones finally realizes that. After inducting Jimmy to the Ring of Honor, I'm sure he saw Jimmy's, pep talk during halftime. And I'm sure Jerry knows his mortality, his age. And he knows that he needs to get a real head coach in here. And Bill Belichick will have this team disciplined and playing good football. And this defense would be something that we've never seen before. Especially with a healthy Trevon Diggs coming back. Hopefully Gilmore stays again. But I personally wouldn't want to pay Micah or CD this offseason. I'd have Micah go in his 4th year and CD go into his last year of his deal. Maybe pay CD, I don't know, but one of the two I would want to pay, because Micah trails off at the end of the season. And in a playoff game like this, he should be wrecking the game. And he drew 2 holding penalties. That was it. That's all Micah did. He was just a guy today. Just a guy. Sickening performance. And, oh, man, I'm not even going to watch the shows tomorrow and Tuesday. They are going to crucify everybody and a mama that is related with the star. If you like my content, guys, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. It helps, the video get viewed more. But this, who could have seen a game like this coming in the first round against the 7 seed? Like I said, a team that wouldn't have been a playoff team 3 years ago before they changed the format. A 9-8 team. The teams we dominated in the 90s in the playoffs were the Packers and the Niners. And the last 3 playoff exits come at the hands. Our last 6 playoff exits, 5 come at the hand of Green Bay and San Fran. 3 by Green Bay, 2 by the Niners, 1 by the Rams in the middle. 2014 Rams knock us out. Green Bay knocked us out. 2016 Green Bay knocks us out. 2018 the Rams. 2021 the Niners. Last year the Niners. This year the Packers again. So the last 6 playoff exits, the 5 losses come to Green Bay and San Francisco. Our inter-conference rivals from the 90s. I just don't know what to think right now. Kind of venting, I guess. But I'm just going to leave it at that. Y'all, like I said, deal with it in your own way, guys. I feel your pain. Trust me, I do. I live and die with every game. I'm surprised I'm not yelling right now like I freaked out after we lost against the Eagles November 9th. That video had like 2,500 views. But sickening. That's all I can say. Charles and Charges out.